Chapter 1. The Weight of Secrets. I'm Arya, and this isn't my story. Not entirely. It's my brother Ethan's, though he'd never tell it himself. He's the kind of person who carries the world in silence, his hazel eyes hiding 1,000 unspoken truths. Growing up, we were inseparable, two halves of a whole, navigating the chaos of our small-town life in Willow Creek. But as we grew older, I saw him change, saw the shadows creep into his smile, and I knew there was something he wasn't telling me. Ethan was always the golden boy, charming, athletic, the one everyone loved. But beneath the surface, he was drowning in secrets. This is my confession, my attempt to unravel the life he lived, the loves he lost, and the moments that broke him. It's a story of love, heartbreak, and the kind of passion that burns too bright to last. I'm telling it because someone has to, and because I owe him that much. Chapter 2. The Boy Who Loved Too Much. Ethan was 16 when I first noticed the way he looked at Lila. She was new to Willow Creek, a girl with wild curls and a laugh that could light up the darkest room. She was everything Ethan wasn't, free, untamed, unafraid. They met at the town's annual summer fair, where Ethan, usually so composed, fumbled his words when she asked him to share her cotton candy. Their romance was a whirlwind. I'd catch them sneaking out to the old oak tree by the river, their whispers mingling with the rustle of leaves. Ethan would come home with a glow I'd never seen, his heart so full it spilled into everything he did. But Lila was a dreamer, and dreamers don't stay in places like Willow Creek. One night, I overheard them arguing. Lila wanted to leave, to chase her dreams in the city. Ethan begged her to stay, his voice raw with desperation. "I love you," he said, and I felt my heart crack at the sound of it. Lila left the next day, and Ethan never spoke her name again. But I saw the change in him. The way his shoulders slumped, the way his laughter grew hollow. Chapter 3. The Hidden Flame. Years passed, and Ethan threw himself into his work. He became a carpenter, crafting furniture with a precision that bordered on obsession. The town loved him for it, but I knew he was running from something. Then came Sophie. Sophie was a teacher, soft-spoken and kind, with eyes that seemed to see right through you. She moved to Willow Creek to escape her own past, a broken engagement, a family that didn't understand her. Ethan met her at the local coffee shop, where she spilled her latte on his sketchbook. He laughed it off, and I saw a spark in him I thought was gone forever. Their connection was different from his with Lila. It was slower, deeper, built on quiet moments, shared glances over morning coffee, late-night talks on Sophie's porch. I'd watch them from my window, my heart swelling with hope. Ethan was healing, or so I thought. But Sophie had her own demons. She was hesitant, guarded, afraid to let herself love again. Ethan was patient, but I could see the strain it put on him. One evening, I found him in his workshop, staring at a half-finished table. "She's scared, Arya," he said, "and I don't know if I can fix it." Chapter 4. The Night That Changed Everything. It was a warm summer night when everything shifted. Ethan and Sophie had been together for a year, and I could feel the tension between them. They loved each other, I was sure of it, but love isn't always enough. I was at home when Ethan came back late, his shirt untucked, his hair a mess. He didn't say a word, just sank onto the couch and buried his face in his hands. I sat beside him, my heart pounding. "What happened?" I asked. He looked at me, his eyes glassy. We crossed a line tonight," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "It was intense, Arya. More than I expected. But now she's pulling away, and I don't know what to do." I didn't press for details. I didn't need to. The way he spoke told me everything. How their connection had deepened in a moment of vulnerability, how their shared passion had overwhelmed them. But Sophie, haunted by her past, couldn't handle it. She needed space, and Ethan was left to pick up the pieces. Chapter 5. The Breaking Point. Sophie left Willow Creek a month later. She didn't say goodbye, just left a note for Ethan that I found crumpled in his workshop. "I'm sorry," it read. "I love you, but I can't stay." Ethan didn't cry, didn't rage. He just worked day after day, building things that would outlast him. I tried to reach him, but he was a fortress now, impenetrable. I'd find him staring at the river, the same place he'd gone with Lila, and I knew he was replaying every moment, every mistake. I wanted to shake him, to tell him he was enough, but I didn't know how. Then came the accident. Ethan was working late, tired and distracted. A saw slipped and he cut his hand badly. I rushed him to the hospital, my heart in my throat. As he lay there, bandaged and pale, he finally spoke. "I'm tired, Arya," he said. "Tired of losing people. Tired of trying." Chapter 6. The Road to Redemption. Ethan's recovery was slow, physically and emotionally. I stayed by his side, forcing him to eat, to talk, to live. One day, I found an old journal in his room, filled with letters he'd never sent, to Lila, to Sophie, to himself. They were raw, honest, a window into the man he'd become. I convinced him to start therapy, though he resisted at first. Slowly, he began to open up, to face the pain he'd buried. He started volunteering at the community center, teaching kids how to build things. I saw glimpses of the old Ethan, the one who laughed easily, who loved fiercely. Then came Mia. She was a single mother, strong and resilient, with a son who adored Ethan. Their connection was unexpected, built on shared moments at the community center. Mia didn't push Ethan, didn't demand more than he could give. She was his safe harbor, and he was hers. Chapter 7. A New Beginning. Ethan and Mia's relationship grew steadily, rooted in trust and understanding. I watched my brother come alive again, his smile no longer forced. One evening, he took me to the river, the place that held so many memories. "I'm going to ask her to marry me," he said, and I cried, not from sadness, but from joy. The wedding was small, held in our backyard with fairy lights and laughter. Mia's son was the ring bearer, beaming with pride. As I watched them dance, I felt a weight lift from my chest. Ethan had found his home, not in a place but in a person. Chapter 8. My Confession. This story isn't just about Ethan. It's about me, too. I've spent years watching my brother struggle, feeling helpless, blaming myself for not doing more. Telling his story is my way of letting go, of honoring the man he is and the man he's becoming. It's my confession that love is messy, that it hurts, but that it's worth it. Ethan doesn't know I'm sharing this. Maybe he'll be angry, maybe he'll understand. But I needed to tell it, to give voice to the silences he carried. This is for him, for Lila, for Sophie, for Mia. For all of us who love too much, who break, and who find a way to heal.